και επιτυχημένος επιχειρηματίας, με αξιόλογες ηγετικές ικανότητες και δυνατότητα προσφοράς σε πολιτικούς ρόλους, όπως διετέλεσε γραμματέας του ΣΑΕ επί χρόνια. Με λίγα λόγια δηλαδή, ο Παύλος είναι αυτό που λένε εδώ one of a kind. Έβγε και ευχαριστώ στην ομάδα του Παύλου Κοντρόζου και ευχές για δύναμη και κουράγιο για επιτυχίες και συνέχιση του έργου στα επόμενα 25 χρόνια της Hellenic News και της έκθεσης Hellenic. Μπράβο και συγχαρητήρια. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we of the diaspora and of Greece owe a great debt of gratitude and our hearty congratulations to Paul Kondrochos, his family and his team for their services in the commercial, educational and cultural areas in support and promotion of Hellenism. Through the media of his bilingual newspaper, Hellenic News of America, and the Hellenic Expo International, celebrating today their 25th and 22nd anniversaries respectively. When it comes to decision-making, personal and business interests always play a secondary role to Paul and his team. What counts first for him is the Hellenic national consciousness. Pedia, i.e. education and upbringing, and the Hellenic Christian cultural and ethnic needs always supersede personal needs. Take my word for it. I have known Paul for many, many years, and I know what I'm talking about. Paul is a patriot, a model family man, and a successful businessman. He has outstanding leadership abilities, and yet he knows when to follow and assist other leaders as a team member. He has served the community in various organizations and groups, and continues to amaze us with his drive and determination for a better tomorrow. He is unquestionably one of a kind. Congratulations and thank you to Paul, his family and his team, and many heartfelt wishes for another 25 years of good health, happiness, good work, and prosperity. Esa nota.
Thank you.
We have many wonderful honorees this evening, and I'm going to start with the presentation to the United States Senator Olympia Snow. She's our U.S. Senator from Maine. Her public service career spans 40 years. She holds the distinction of being only the fourth woman in U.S. history to be elected to both houses of Congress and the United States Senate. She also served in both houses of the Maine legislature. She's known as a national consensus builder. Anybody who turns on CNN or reads the newspaper always reads about Olympia Snow being one of those people who's able to bring opposing parties together. She's also the first Republican woman to serve a full term on the seat of the powerful Senate Finance Committee of the U.S. Senate. And she's also the ranking member of the Senate Committee of Small Businesses and Entrepreneurship. And that's why I think that tonight's award is fitting, because the Hermes Expo, which is sponsored by the Hellenic News of America, is a business-oriented initiative that many of us believe the Philippines come to depend upon each year. Senator Snow could not be here with us this evening. However, she did send a short video clip to thank Mr. Kondrochos and Hellenic News of America for his honor. And if you would turn your attention to the video monitor, we'll see her message right now. The Greek Relief Fund, Brother Phil Godis. We'd like to thank the media who are here, Mr. Yami Metavitis, for video photography, and John, our in-house photographer, and our videographers, Dimitri, Angelique, Lomas was the director of the University of Delaware Institute Center and a professor of foreign language and undergrad communication and graduate education. He served 4 consecutive 2-year terms as the national chairman of the American Hellenic Institute Public Affairs Committee. He's an author of numerous publications and articles and a presenter of several lectures in conferences and seminars relating to international education and on Hellenic American issues. He's a father of 3 sons, Ben, Nick, and Michael, and the grandfather of 6 grandsons, ages 6 to 12, and 2 granddaughters, ages 10 to 9. I would like to present this plaque that reads, Hellenic Youth of America Award, presented to Dr. E. C. Lomas in recognition of his distinguished service to his profession in the academia and the Greek American community. It's really the teachers who teach us to be proud of our Hellenism, of our roots, and of everything that came before us. Those are the people that we have to thank each and every day. The students like me, young adults like Aphrodite, Sakura, and Ioana, we wouldn't be here today without our educators. Mr. Lomas, congratulations.
Thank you. Well, it certainly is a pleasure to be here and receive this award. I've been with Paul for 35 years. I was around when he started the paper, when my kids were babies. Now I'm a grown-up man, and now the second generation is coming through with my 6 grandsons and my 2 little granddaughters. And I really would like to introduce them. If I don't, I'm going to hear it. Ben and Debian Dimitra, please stand up very quickly. My first son. Nick and Dimitra, my second. And Michael is not here, unfortunately. He lives in Nashville, so he couldn't be here with his family. But I want to introduce my grandsons, my granddaughter. I have Constantine, age 16, junior high school. And Evangelo, 7, 14, freshman high school. And Constantine, Costa, another 14. And then there's a 4th grandson who's not here, Alexandros. He's a 12-year-old. And the 5th grandson, Luke. Stand up, Luke. Another 12-year-old. And Vasily, another 12-year-old. And then Katerina, 10 years old. And finally, Angelicula, she loves when we call that name, who is 9 years old, again in Tennessee. The good thing about being late in the program is that everybody has said everything. And the bad thing is you don't know what else to say. But I must say this. 2 things, primarily. The Hellenic News of America is not just a local paper. It's not a national paper. And it's not a local paper. It's a regional paper. It covers over 100,000 people anywhere between New York and Washington, D.C., and from Washington, D.C. back to New York. For the Controversious family, like us all, because I know them, I've known them since they were little, it's not just a job. It really, truly is a labor of love. They have worked to make sure that this paper is the communicator of the Greek American community from Washington to New York. You know, in education we say that education is the path to communication, and communication is the path to understanding. And that's where the Hellenic News has stood all these years, right in between them, connecting the entire Greek American community on the I-95 corridor from New York to Washington. Congratulations, Paul, and the ladies, wife and daughters, for the 25 years, the first generation that my sons grew up in, Cyprus Aegean crisis 38 years ago, but it was Bezos Savopoulos who had the close contact with all our congressmen and senators. And I want you to know, those of you that are outside of Delaware, that in the 38 years, because of Bezos, Delaware is the only state in the Union whose elected officials in Washington voted for us every single time any Greek American issue came forward. Bezos, I thank you. And I thank everybody else. And I also thank tonight George and Ivan Vassilatos, because I happen to notice that they put an ad in the book congratulating me for this award today. So I thank them very, very clearly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Greek Americans. We are very supported. We are Americans, those of us Americans by birth, and those of you Americans by choice, but we are Americans. But yet we are Greek Americans, and remember what President Reagan said in 1987 when Mikhail Gorbachev came to America after he and Reagan began to have a rapprochement. When he arrived in New York or Washington, I forget which, it was in June of 1987, I think it was June 1, if I'm not mistaken. And for the first time, there were Russian Americans who were there to greet this Russian who was breaking down the Soviet Union. And President Reagan was asked, what do you think about Russian Americans coming to greet a Russian leader? And I will never forget the response, which goes for all of us. Just because a man marries a new wife, it doesn't mean he forgets his mother. Remember, Ευχαριστώ όλους σας. Thank you very much. Ζήτω η κληρονομία μας. And please God, bless America. Thank you.
Θα ήθελα να παρακαλέσω τον πρόεδρο του Hellenic American Foundation, τον Dr. Σπυρέα, και τον πρόεδρο του Άχη, τον κύριο Λαργκάκη, να έρθει να παρουσιάσουμε όλοι μαζί την τιμητική πλακέτα στον T. Lomi, τον πρώην Chairman of the American Hellenic Institute, που εκεί το γνώρισα και εκεί συστρατευτήκαμε και οι δυο, για να μην πω ότι με συστράτευσε εκείνος ή τον συστράτευσα εγώ, και έγινε my mentor, my friend, and he wrote so many extensive articles about the Hellenic issues pertaining to the Greek American community. Thank you.
One final note, we'd like to thank the contributing editors and the editorial advisory board of the Hellenic News of America, and the scholarship committee, Dr. Dimitri Monos, Nick Dimitris, Esquire, and George Koyakis, Esquire. And I'd like to announce that there will be a fundraiser for Mr. R. Andrews at SDL Restaurant on October 23rd, 2012. We need to keep good people in office. And without further ado, I would like to ask Mr. Paul Patrocios to come up and say a few words. But just from my heart, I want to say that the best of Greece is not in our past. It's not the Achaia that we know. It's in our future. And that's why it's important that we together support Hellenic American causes, support our Hellenic American youth, and most importantly, make sure that others understand our contributions. And that's why the Hellenic News of America is so important, because it brings us together, and it really tells everybody what contributions we have made, not just in the past, but continue to make moving forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Patrocios.
Thank you, Arabella. I want to call upon our friend Mario Sibira, the Vice Vice Chairman of the Delaware County Council. He has been a great friend for over 32 years. He is a friend of the Greek American community, and Father Nectarios can attest to that if you don't believe me. But he was not here in Delaware County, but he was in the greater Philadelphia area. And ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my honor and pleasure to present to you our American friends of the Delaware County, of the county that the newspaper is being printed, and we send it all over the United States of America. The